So it was not that extremely difficult. Many of you did very well. 2 of you did all questions perfectly correct. So it was not that bad. And I think with this result, we can really move on. Look at that. That's pretty good. Overall result is pretty good. Some of you didn't so well, but some of you did. So I think we can move on. It's not so bad. Many of the things will repeat. So if you weren't able to look at it, or if you felt that you will know it, but you found out that it's different, it's too difficult, then I would like to suggest that you repeat, that you catch up. So the difficult one is number 2. So let's see. Today the sun will rise, the fortunate will be happy. Ajja bhanuma. Bhanuma will not work for this noun group. Udissate is from the word udeti, and udeti in future is udissate. Punyavanto. Punyavanti is nonsense. Punyavanto. Sukhino bhavissanti. I think it's pretty clear. Here, what could be difficult here? In the morning, pato is the same. Bhagava. Bhagava is total nonsense. Cannot, sorry. So A, C, or D. And then sayo or sayang. We always use sayang for morning. Okay, never sayo. So it could be either C. I have here a big spider, so that takes away my attention. So either it is, so sayang, so it could be either B or it would be D. But Bhagava is a nonsense. Therefore, already from this word sayang, you should know that D is right. The rest doesn't really matter, and it's actually the same. So I don't see any difficulty. Yesterday, my brother killed a snake, so iyo, mama maihang is the same thing. Bhata. Bhata would be, if it is the first noun group, bhata is the group that we use. So you have mata, pita, bhata. Mata is feminine, so that's a different story. But pita, bhata, always must be like that. Pita is father, bhata is brother. Ahing, yes. Asing means a sword. Ahing means the knife. So either it's A or C. But because it's bhata, we know that it's A, and the rest doesn't even matter anymore. Okay? And it's actually the same. The spider is coming close to me. A monk went to Himalayas. Oh, now I don't see the spider. A monk went to Himalayas. He is mindful and virtuous. Bhikkhu himavantang gacchi. Himavantaya is not possible here. Himavantaya, I think, is like from. Himavantaya is like of the Himalayas. Definitely for accusative, you must use himavantang, gacchi, satima, or silavantu. Well, satima, silavantu is anyway absolutely unacceptable. Even if it was silavantu, then it would be silava. Silavantu is the original form. So no, we either silava or satima. Silava means that he follows rules. Satima means that he's mindful. So it must be mindful. And you see here, silava is correct. Wise people are virtuous. Panyavanta, panyavanto. Here's very important point that for these things that end with NTU in the base, A and O is both correct. However, if it ends with R at the end, then you will have only Ro. Ra is not possible. So Panyavanta, Panyavanto, both are correct. So you have to choose, you have to find the correct answer by something else. Silavanta or Silavantamha. Silavantamha would be from a virtuous, whereas Silavanta is, oh, there's the spider. Okay. So Silavanta are the virtuous in the nominative. Bhavanti, we want to know are, not will be. So we must use Bhavanti or Bhavanti, which I think is pretty easy. So you could know already in the beginning that it's either A or D. And based on that case, it is Silavanta. So the rest is the same point. So I'm getting some computer problems, just a moment. All right, and we continue. The rich, powerful, of high caste. Should be high caste, right? That's right. So high caste. So Dhanavanto or Dhanavanta. These are all correct. So this is more about vocabulary. It's very confusing. When I was checking it, I also got confused and wrong. So be careful when you get these lists. They're well made so that you get easily confused. So just need to be careful. That's it. So rich is Dhanavanto. Yasa means fame. So that would be famous, and that would be with many relatives. So we want powerful, and that's Bala, Balavanta. So either B or D. And then the next one, you need to continue being careful. The third one is high caste. So Kulavanta is actually high caste. I think it could also mean that, no, okay, high caste. With good relatives, I see. Okay, whatever. So Kulavanta and Yasavanto would mean famous, so that's wrong. So we already know by the third word that it's option D. The rest doesn't really matter. It was more about vocabulary. Okay, the king listened to the doctrine from a monk. Upalo, so bhikkhuna, bhikkhussa, bhikkhuno, or bhikkhunaya. So here, bhikkhussa means of a monk. Bhikkhuna means from a monk. Okay. So because the Dhamma is of the Buddha, you cannot say bhikkhussa Dhamma. Okay? Bhikkhussa Dhamma would be the teachings that the monk himself made. But it's not true. In Buddhism, the Dhamma is made by the Buddha. There are very rare suttas that are given by monks, and it's their own idea, and then it's approved. But here in the question, we have from a monk, so must be bhikkhuna. Bhikkhuna dhammang sune. Sune or sunasi. I wonder if both of them are correct. Anyway, sune is correct. And you could also use your vocabulary scale. So pacha means later, ure means before. So if you were not sure about the monk declination, you could use your knowledge of vocabulary. Pacha means later, ure means before. So because we want later, option B is correct. The fathers of the intelligent become fortunate. So buddhimantasanang, buddhimantanang. Okay, so buddhimantasanang, I don't think that's anything. Buddhimantanang definitely is. And here pitaro. it is very important to remember this point. If it is NTU, it can be don ta. Both are correct in nominative. If it is ra, then there is only one option, and that's ro. Pitara means, I think, from a father, from the father. So that's wrong. So pitaro, we want the fathers in nominative. So always the nominative ends by o when it is ending by r. Punyavanta or punyavanto doesn't matter at all. Those who have wisdom are the knowers of the mindfulness doctrine. Panyavanto or panyavanta is the same thing. Vidunang or vidusu. Vidusu means among the wise. Vidunang means of the mind, sorry. Yes, that's right. Of the mind, of the knowers. Panyavanta, vidunang. Vidunang dhammang. So somehow I used vidunam. Vidunam. Let me see. These are very complicated because they all are synonyms, basically.
In the exercise 10, yeah, we do.
Oh, here it is. Vidu. Wise man or knower. So not a mindful person. So that's not correct. Wise man.
It could be sentimental. I think.
Yeah, but my idea was to show you that they're synonyms. I wanted to show you that panyavantu, vidu, and vinyata. So panyava, vidu, and vinyata are synonyms, and I wanted to have them all three in the sentences so that you are well reminded that all these three basically mean somebody who has wisdom or knowledge. So we get them all three here. Panyavanta, vidunang, dhammang vinyataro bhavanti. So the wise ones are the knowledgeable ones of the dhamma of those who are knowledgeable or wise. So why the others don't work? They don't work because vinyatara is not possible. So what about this one? Well, because vidusu means among the wise ones, whereas vidunang means of the wise ones. Pura or pacha, we had that before also. So pura means before, pacha means after. So we already from the first word, we know it's A or D. Tumhakang sattaresu or sattaranang. Sattaresu means among the teachers. Sattaranang means of the teachers. And we already know which one is right and which one is not. Then if you did not, then you have one more option, punyavante or punyavantana. Punyavante is the accusative. So see somebody. All right. Another point to improve. So punyavante is correct. Punyavantana is something else. Punyavantana of the fortunate. Punya itself means a merit. So it's basically Silavantu and Punyavantu is the same thing. Danavantu. Danavantu and Punyavantu and Kusalavantu, but we do not have the word here, would be synonyms. Especially Punya is used for giving. So Danavantu, Punyavantu are very similar. However, it seems that in Sri Lanka, this word is mostly understood as fortunate rather than, well, in Burmese, they use the same word for fortunate and for meritorious, exactly the same thing. So if you're fortunate, it means that you did something good in the past. If you did something good in the past, that means that you're fortunate. It's the same word. And it seems that it's possibly inspired by the Pali word. So punyavante must be accusative. And I will need to make the corrections also in the old test. So actually next week, you know what's happening. Next week, we will not have a test or a class. Next week, I will be distributing certificates. So because you have finished 10 tests, we will be preparing results. We will invite you to come and check the results so that if the results are not correct, you can ask us to correct those results. And then based on the results, we'll make certificates, and then I will be distributing to you the certificates next week. And so you have now 2 weeks to repeat if you are not confident about what we have learned, and to learn for exercise 11. So you have 2 weeks for that. Okay, so what were the things I corrected? Okay. So anybody has any questions, anything you'd like to ask me about or suggest? I would like to connect Manviyana line. Are you here? Yes, I turned off the video to make sure that it doesn't get broken. I would like to connect Manviyana line with Ms. Tutam, who knows how to do all this stuff with preparing the results and the certificates. We already have our template and everything. We have a lot of experience. So Tutam maybe would connect with you in Zoom and explain to you how to do these things, so that later also if you do other courses or anything else, you have nice experience. And if you could prepare that, that would be great. Would you have enough time and enthusiasm to do this?
Should be okay. Should be fine. Yeah, I want to do that. Yeah.
It doesn't take a huge amount of time. It does take some time, but because we have just a few students, it's actually not so much. It would be, the more students we have, the more work, the more robot work it is, okay? Because you have to download the results, then you have to convert them into some text, then you have to put them into some certain system, and then you put them into a table, and then in that table you need to prepare some design, and then you invite me to come and check that design and whether everything's right. Then I check it, and if I'm fine with that, then we invite all the students to come and check those results for themselves. And then you prepare the certificate, so you change there a little bit the text for what is the certificate, and then you send to me the link, and I make original signature there. and then you export it into PDF, and then, or yes, I think you export it into pictures, and then when we meet again next week on Tuesday, the people will be looking at, we will be showing the people the certificates that they have received. The person who has answered all 10 tests gets a certificate regardless of a result. A person who answered 9 or 8 tests still gets evaluated. If somebody answered only 7 or less, does not even get evaluated. No evaluation. We don't care at all about the result. But if they got 8 or 9, then it depends on their result. So if they did 8 or 9 of the 10 tests, then they must have at least 60. They would have to have at least 60 questions correct. At least 60 answers would have to be correct. So 60, and then based on the amount, they get different color of certificate. So we have golden certificate, green and blue and red and black.
Right.
All right. Anyone has any question, any suggestions? I think we will give you at least, I think if we could have it ready by Saturday night, so that people on Sunday, can look at the results. And then I would have Monday to write the signatures. Well, I need just about 15 minutes to do that. And then on Tuesday we can show the certificates, and people can then download them and be happy about them, and maybe it will encourage them to continue.
Sure. Yeah. We'll do that.
Anything anybody would like to say or ask? No questions? Everything's clear. So if you want, you already can start learning, preparing for exercise 11. Next week on Tuesday, we will discuss the certificates, but we will especially have opportunity to discuss any difficulties with exercise 11. So I would like to suggest to you that you already look at exercise 11 and see what are the problems there in the exercises and the grammar. If there's anything you disagree with, or anything that doesn't make sense, or anything that's not clear, write it down carefully as notes. And during our next class, please ask me so that we resolve it before the test. Okay, so thank you everybody for coming. It was a pleasure to see you, and hope to see you next week. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be successful in everything you do.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.